What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today in this video we're going to be talking about some of the latest updates to Destiny 2 and what's been changing. There have been a few updates and hotfixes which I'll be going through. Bungie also detailed some of the things they're working on and will be addressed in future updates, as well as I'll also be talking about some events happening soon with the rewards you'll be getting in them. So in the very latest update, something pretty big they've changed was to do with the Nightfall Strikes, and it's actually a pretty good quality of life update. It definitely makes things a lot easier. So they fixed a bunch of issues causing the prison modifier to not display correctly, and also instead they fixed it so now it's going to show on screen all the time what element it currently is. So it's actually really helpful. You don't have to ask all your teammates all the time what element is it, what's the current burn. It will show on screen all the time, as you can see here, what the element of current damage it is, which is the best one. And it's also going to do a little kind of animation on screen showing when the element changes. So when it becomes solar, you'll see a kind of a red fiery solar flash on screen, and when it goes void, purple, arc blue. So it's going to be a little kind of elemental effect, and definitely saves you from constantly having to ask what the element is or what damage you should be doing. Now, as well as that, they also fixed some kind of issues to do with the Mana Wart Linear Fusion Rifle quest, which wasn't dropping properly with a full inventory. It was fixed an issue where some kind of raid object was receiving an unintended amount of damage from the Wardcliff Coil, or the Dubious Volley. I wasn't using this in the raid myself, so I don't know what this is talking about. Maybe you guys do, but apparently some kind of raid object was receiving either a massive amount of damage or a small amount of damage from this weapon. They also fixed some kind of issue with meditations, and finally, a matchmaking crashing issue as well. Now, in terms of things that Bungie are going to be fixing soon and bugs they're aware of, there's one to do with matchmaking, and it's actually skill-based matchmaking in the competitive playlist. That's, of course, where it should be working, kind of full effect. But quick play is normal, apparently it's working fine. But in competitive, skill-based matchmaking isn't working properly how it's supposed to, so that will be fixed in a future update, and the games will be a bit more competitive, so no longer being stomped or doing stomping. Games should be a little bit more closer to your skill level, apparently. Now, on top of that, something else that Bungie said they're looking into is the issue of raid keys being removed from your inventory. Now, I mentioned this in my recent video, but essentially, keys are supposed to be taken away every single Tuesday, every reset, but when they were taken away a couple days ago, they weren't supposed to happen like that. That was an accident. I lost all of my keys as well. I got 3 taken away from me, but that wasn't supposed to happen. But Bungie said they've identified the issue and are working to address it. Now, I'm not sure if this means everyone who lost keys is going to be given back new ones. It probably depends on if they can track that info, but at least they're aware of the issue, and it should be fixed very soon. So we don't know if our keys are going to be given back, but at least it shouldn't be happening again in the future, besides the reset, of course, when they should be taken away. Again, I don't personally agree they should be taken away, but unless Bungie change their mind, this is the current plan. Now, something else a lot of people have been asking about and when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, is a weapon balancing patch, essentially a sandbox patch balancing weapons. Now, I don't think this is going to happen for a while, personally. I think it's way too early for Bungie to even have enough data to start buffing and nerfing things or changing how things work. But when it comes to weapon balancing, Bungie are probably going to leave that alone for a good month or two until dust settles, until people clearly know what's good, what's bad, and how to adjust things. I know with Destiny 1, there was a pretty big weapon balancing patch very early on in the game, like just a couple weeks after it came out. But unless it's something as crazy rampant as the Cerus regime, I wouldn't expect some kind of weapon balancing patch anytime soon, at least for a month or two. And so far, Bungie has said absolutely nothing indicating they will be doing one soon. So this week is going to be a pretty chilled week for Destiny 2, no major events launching, so it's a pretty good time to start new characters or get your adventures done or anything you haven't had a chance to do yet. I'm probably going to finish leveling up my Warlock, but like I said, this week is quite chilled. Next week, however, on Tuesday, of course, the reset is going to be the beginning of the faction rally, which should be pretty cool. The few things we do know is that it is, of course, going to involve Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, and New Monarchy, the 3 factions of Destiny 1, and they're going to be introduced into the game, of course. They've all got their own designated areas inside the tower where the vendors are going to arrive, but it could be something simple, just like picking a faction and doing any activity for rep and rewards, or it could be something massive like a new activity where all the factions get involved. But either way, it'll be nice to have another 3 sets of weapons introduced. I'm sure some of them are going to be very good ones, but let me know which of the 3 factions you guys will be picking. I've always personally gone for Dead Orbit. So after the faction rally at the end of September, in the next month in October, we're going to have some more new things happening. One of them is going to be the return of Iron Banner for the very first time in Destiny 2. And again, it's going to be cool to get some new weapons that will probably be very good in Crucible. And Iron Banner armor has always been some of my favorite sets. I'm looking forward to that. I pointed out a bunch of the new Iron Banner gear we'll be getting in videos a while back. You can see this is the Hunter, which seems to be like a samurai-styled armor set, a very cool helmet. There's also these weapons, which I can't tell if these are normal guns with Iron Banner shaders or actual Iron Banner awards, because they've got little Iron Banner badges on the side. Most likely these are Iron Banner weapons, but it could just be that these are shaders in action as well. And then also in October, we do have the Prestige version of the Raid going live, which is basically hard mode, just a new name, and it's probably going to follow the same trend of adding a new mechanic, taking some crutches away, adding way more powerful enemies, and of course, having no revives available. So it's normally pretty difficult, but the rewards are going to be quite nice as well. So it's safe to assume the hand cannon and the sniper are two of the weapons you'll earn in prestige mode, seeing as no one's earned them just yet. Honestly, both the sniper rifle and the hand cannon do look both really, really good. The sniper, as you can see here, is called Alone as a God. So the main perk is triple tap, which is quite good, and also snapshot. The only unfortunate thing is that it does seem to be in the rapid fire frame, which of course is low impact. So this thing is going to be a fast firing but low impact weapon with a big magazine. So it does seem a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, low impact snipers aren't that great in PvE, so this might not be the best for the raid, but probably a bit better inside Crucible. And there's also the raid hand cannon, the Midnight Coup. This one's got small bore, rampage, which is basically crowd control, and also outlaw, which is very good. So looking forward to getting this weapon, and it seems like it'll be pretty good in PvE, almost like a Fate Bringer, but bonus damage instead of the explosion. And then on top of that, you'll of course get the prestige armor set, and these seem to be pretty much mostly gold instead of the white. So these look very, very impressive of prestige mode raid armor. But there you go, that's been a rundown of everything happening recently and happening in the future for Destiny 2, some new things to earn. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always much appreciated. If you want to watch a video I made about a bunch of Charles the 9 flawless loot, then click the image on screen right now, and I'll see you guys next one.